In this video, I'm walking you through my PositioningOS that helps copywriters become the obvious #1 choice for their clients. Since 2013, I've generated more than $500 million in revenue for clients and built a simple copywriter-specific business for myself. This 3-step process completely removes you from being just another copywriter. Let's dive in. So as you can see here, this document is all about how to be the first option that comes to mind for your ideal client. So this here is going to create all of your future marketing so that it attracts and magnetizes and resonates with and polarizes your ideal client. They are the only people that your marketing is going to speak to, and that is going to position you front of their mind so that when they have a problem and they go, oh, I need this solved, you are going to be the person that comes to mind to help them solve it. That is the power of positioning. But so many people get positioning wrong. If you haven't read the book by Al Rees, go and read it. It's simply titled Positioning. And in it, there's this quote, that to find a unique position, you must ignore conventional logic. Conventional logic says that you find your position, your concept, inside of yourself or inside of the product. That's not true. And that's what so many other people do. They go, what is it about me? What is it about my product or my service? Okay, and they're looking in the wrong place. Where you need to look is inside of the prospect's mind. Because when you get inside of their mind, you start to see what they value and what they want, and then you can position yourself in alignment with those things to not only speak their language, but talk the way that they talk. Focus on the things that they focus on themselves. You are entering the conversation that's already happening in their mind and positioning yourself there. It's a form of inception. Okay? So my goals in this video, I'm going to make this so simple, easy, and straightforward for you that it's going to underwhelm you and go, I can do that. Okay? It's then going to help make you appear as the best and the only option for your clients, and it's going to build the foundation for your future marketing because you're going to choose the specific values that your client has, and you are going to align yourself with them to position yourself strongly in the market for that person. Okay? Now, the big problems that copywriters face, there's 3 of them. The first is that they don't know what positioning even is, or the first thing about it. So when they do their marketing, they don't realize that they are becoming just another copywriter in the sea of millions that are out there, which means their marketing goes over the top of their ideal clients. They have weak positioning because of that. So they are just another copywriter. There's no differentiation. It's so easy to compare you to others and therefore compare prices and therefore want to barter on them and make you compete on them. And that's not the game that we want to play. And the other problem is that they have generic value propositions. So it's really hard to charge or secure premium prices. I'm talking 10K plus per project. With the right positioning, that becomes not only easy, it becomes the only thing to do. Okay? So the reason that positioning solves these problems is that when you get positioning right, it's very easy for your prospects to know who you are, who you help, and what you do for them in a way that is different to everybody else. Okay? So one of the positioning techniques that we use in the future when it comes to our pricing is we price based on the value created for clients instead of the work that we're doing for them. So where other copywriters will say, I'll write you a new 10-part email sequence, you'll say, I'm going to increase your open rates to 30%, increase your click rate to 5%, and therefore you're going to generate an additional 15K a month on the back end of that, depending on what the price point is for the client and what it is that they sell. So by leading with that, you're leading with the value that you're creating for them. That gets them framed on that value, which has them focused on it instead of the work that you're doing. Okay? That is a part of positioning, and that's what we're doing right here. So the solution, as I said earlier, very simple, 3 steps. Step 1 is completing the ideal client persona. This is what gets you deeply understanding who it is that you work with, what you do for them, what they value, what their psychographics are, what their biggest problems are, the specific experiences they have from that problem. If you want to do that, I have linked the video walkthrough and the document in the description of this video for you. It is the best thing that a copywriter can do as step 1 to deeply understand their ideal client and set the foundation for their positioning and their marketing and their offer creation and their sales mechanisms and their delivery protocols in the future, so that it is all specifically built by design for that one ideal client and their psychographic profile. Okay? But once you've done that, you would have done the work to go and do step 2, which is about crafting your position. And this is about you creating a category of one for yourself. So there's no other copywriters out there that are like you or do the things that you do and work the way that you work and get the results that you get. Okay? What you need to do is very simple. You identify 2 things that your client values. And we're not talking about speed here, we're not talking about results, we're not talking about pricing, they're surface level. We go a layer deeper. Okay, so what is something that your ideal client really, really values? And what you do is you plot them on an XY axis graph, which creates something that looks like this. This is my personal example. So the values that I am focused on for my positioning are simplicity and specificity. Okay, so the opposites of that are the copywriters out there that are very broad in their advice and their tactics, and it's very surface level. I am going to go very specific, very deep, and very step by step to show you exactly what to do and how you can do it. But the other matrix there is that I'm going to make it incredibly simple instead of being very complex. Because with it being simple, it creates that sensation of underwhelm. And it also shows and positions me as the authority and the expert of I get this stuff so good. I have so much experience at this that I can take all of these complex things, which you look at and you go, man, that's so confusing. I don't get it. How would I put that together for myself? And it takes it into this very simple, easy, and straightforward process of going, oh, okay, I can see how to do it now. And because of the specificity, it also walks them through step by step. Okay, that's my position. That's what I am taking. And you would go through and do this for yourself. So it might be that your client values transparency and truth. Okay, so you're going to be very direct and upfront with them inside of everything that you do. And then it might also be that they're very data driven. So you're going to take a position that is very authentic, truthful, and transparent, and it's very data driven instead of being story driven and very subjective, okay, and being very blasé in a sense. Like, you know, we have transparent up here. This is very truthful, very honest, and we have story based over here, and down here we have, you know, these untruths, these promises that can't be upheld. So you're going to position yourself there of being like, here's the data and here's the specifics of it. Like, I'm very open with you, I'm very honest with you. And then you go and you take that position in the market for your ideal client and the specific problems that they have. So by taking that position of simplicity and specificity for my ideal client, I was then able to create my irresistible offers and build out my lead gen, traffic, and conversion mechanisms. I was able to justify my premium prices because it strengthened the depth of my knowledge and the simplicity of the way that I communicate it with people to make it very easy for them. And I could build out my entire marketing approach, including my top of funnel, where people discover me, my middle of funnel, where I convert those people across into an audience that I own and I can communicate with, and who are now considering working with me so that I can communicate with them in a different way because they're closer to making a buying decision than the people who are just discovering me. And I can then go and create my sales process around this, specific for those people, so that it's very simple for them to see what we're going to do, and it's very specific so they know exactly what it is that we're going to do. Okay? So I could build it out, and you will build it out as well, where my entire marketing approach attracted copywriters that want to learn how to write world-class copy, that want to build a simple copywriter-specific business, generates 100K or more a year, and that like simple explanations of in-depth, step-by-step specific walkthroughs, which is what this is, and they value their freedom of who they work with, when they work, where they work from, what time they work, and how much they charge, and they're ambitious and more. These are the things that my ideal client that I want to attract to me, they value. And it's highly likely that you're watching this right now and you nod your head at one or more of those things. There's a reason for that, because of the magnetism, the resonance, and the polarization. Okay, so step 2, complete this XY axis diagram for yourself with the 2 values of your ideal client that you really want to focus on and hammer home. Step 3 is then creating your belief statement. This is a very simple 3-step process that creates a nice little elevator pitch and marketing focus for you. Okay? So all it contains is your thesis, which is what you believe. It contains your core elements, which there's going to be 2 or 3 of, and your mechanism for achieving your ideal client's dream outcome. So my personal example here, my thesis. I believe that copywriters that will thrive and be irreplaceable in the future are the ones who make the shift and act as business owners. That's my thesis. The ones that don't treat themselves like freelancers are the ones that are going to continually have high-paying clients that they're ecstatic to work with in the future, and they're not going to be fighting or having open to work on their LinkedIn profile and just hoping that a client comes across them. To be one of those copywriters, my core elements, you need to consistently get traffic, you need to have an effective conversion protocol to generate that traffic into clients, and then you need to be able to write world-class copy. Okay? In order to have those 3 things, you need what I call a copywriter-specific business, or a CSB. Yep. That is my belief statement. In Simon Sinek's term, this is the why. Okay? So 2 specific copywriter examples before you go and do your own. Someone has identified that SaaS companies are their ideal client, and they believe that the SaaS companies that thrive in the future are the ones that communicate what they do in the simplest manner possible. So it's easy for their clients and their prospects to understand what they do for them. For SaaS companies to do that, they need to deeply understand their customer language, they need to communicate clearly and compellingly, and they need to have alignment through their entire messaging. In order to have those things, SaaS companies need a map, a message alignment protocol. And that is what I, as the copywriter, provide these SaaS companies with. So whether they want more traffic to their app and downloading it, whether they have an email list of 10,000 people and they want to convert more of them across into paying clients, whether they have 300 people on their middle plan and they want to get 30 of those across to their pro plan, then I can help them do that too. And what it takes is a map. Okay? Second example is someone that focuses on companies that are advertising. So I believe that companies running ads that will see the greatest ROAS are the ones that best understand data, interpret it, and optimize based off it. That's my thesis, that's my theory, that's my belief. For companies to do that, they need to know what the data means, they need to know how to read it, and they need to know what changes need to be made, the specific changes. And in order to have those things, what companies need is a SAC, a specialist advertising copywriter, and that is me. I know ads and data. I know what to look for in an ads manager to see where the constraint is, and then I know what the changes are that need to be made in order to remove that constraint and to get the ads running more efficiently and profitably. Okay? That is the position that I would take in the market if I was an advertising specialist and I wanted to focus on companies that were spending 10K or more a month on ads and weren't happy with the results. So now all of my future marketing would speak directly to that person and strengthen the position that I'd taken. If I was the SaaS focused copywriter, all of my marketing would revolve around message alignment and how SaaS companies can better create that by simplifying their message and get better results. Okay? All of that would strengthen my position and get them to go, this person knows what they're talking about. They're an expert and an authority in the field. They value the things that I value. They get me. Okay, I'm now going to discover them in their top of funnel content and their top of funnel marketing. I'm going to move into their middle of funnel so that I'm now showing that I'm considering working with them, because in their marketing, they've created this banger, irresistible lead magnet that I want. And now as a copywriter, I can focus my time and attention on my middle of funnel prospects who are considering working with me and start to get them into a conversation where we look at how we can work together. Very, very simple, incredibly, incredibly powerful. Okay? So if you haven't already, complete step 1, the ideal client persona OS. As I said in the description, the video walkthrough and document is linked for you. And then craft your position, build out your belief statement. You are then going to have everything that you need to build out a traffic and conversion mechanism to attract your ideal clients to you and then convert them across so that you can segment those who are ready and willing to say, hey, I like what you're doing. I'd love more information. So simple, so smooth, so straightforward. Thank you for joining me here on this video. If you found value from it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.